In today's video, we're creating a super clean, classic, go-to everyday look, but there's a twist to it. I wanted to focus on products that last all day. So if you are someone who needs longevity in their makeup, maybe you have oily skin, maybe you live in a humid climate, or maybe you just have really long days. You leave the house early and you don't get home till late, especially this time of the year. I feel like it's everyone's busy season. There's work, there's holiday parties, there's, dinners, there's all these things. I wanted to create a look that could really last you all day. So these products are meant to last all day. They're very long wearing, and there's a few tips and tricks that I share to also help you keep your makeup on all day. So before we get started though, this is a huge announcement. I'm super excited. So BK Beauty's Black Friday sale starts today, you guys, today, and it is the biggest Black Friday sale that we've ever had. It's 30% off site-wide. 30% off site-wide, you guys. That's huge. Last year we did 20. 30% off site-wide. Huge, huge savings across the entire site. I know I keep saying that, but I just want to stress how big of a sale this is. So I will have all the details to our sale down in the description box below. I'm going to tag all the brushes that I'm using in today's video through YouTube Shopping, so you can shop them as you're watching this video if you want. I'll also link them in the description box too if you prefer to shop that way. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the video. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. For foundation, we're going to start with the Too Faced Born This Way Soft Matte Oil Control Lotion. Pretty certain they reformulated this recently, and I love this formula. I've been wearing this a lot more recently. I just bought it a couple of months ago, and what I love about this foundation is it's lightweight, and it's very, very long wearing. I mean, from the moment that I apply it, even 8-10 hours later, it looks pretty close to how it looked when I first applied it. It stays fresh looking all day. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 106 brush to apply this, and I'm really excited, you guys, because today kicked off BK Beauty's Black Friday sale, 30% site-wide. You guys, this is the biggest Black Friday that we have ever had. 30% off site-wide. It started today. I'm gonna have all the details for you down in the description box below. I like to start in the center of the face, and I just kind of press and bounce the brush onto the skin. You really don't need a lot of this foundation. It is buildable, so if you are someone that needs a little bit more coverage, you can certainly get that. But I always like to start with a little layer and then go in and add more if and where I need it. This brush just does all the work for you. It's so quick and easy. This is my actual favorite foundation brush. You guys probably know that if you watch my videos often, if you're new to my channel. By the way, I'm Lisa and I'm the founder of BK Beauty Brushes, and this is my personal favorite foundation brush. Our 101 is our best-selling foundation brush, but I love this one, and I love it. People always ask me why. I love it because I like to apply foundation in this way. I like to bounce and then buff into the skin in circular motions, and this brush shape and head really allows you to do it. It's nice because it's dense, but it's also flexible, so you can get full coverage, but you can also get a really beautiful blend. And as far as finish of this foundation, I would say it leans pretty, it's like a soft matte. It's definitely not like satin or dewy, but it's not really matte. I wouldn't describe it as matte either. It's kind of like just this very soft, natural matte. I would almost say it's like skin-like with a tad bit more matte finish to it. It's also going to depend on the products that you use underneath it. So if you use a glowy primer, that'll alter the finish of it. But today I use the Merit Beauty Plumping Moisturizing Primer, and that's such a great one. It's a really great moisturizer before makeup because it works as a primer too. Oh, it's so good, you guys. I didn't use much foundation at all, and the skin is smooth, it's very poreless, and it's even. And it's gonna look good and last all day long and feel lightweight. I think when you're thinking about longevity and long wear makeup, to me it's really important that it feels lightweight. Sometimes long wear products can be on the heavier side, and this is not, so I love that product. When it came to choosing a concealer for this video, I kind of paused for a bit. Ultimately, I decided to go with the Westman Atelier concealer. This is a brand new concealer. I love this formula. This gives really great full coverage. I will say I played with this a lot, and you have to be careful with powdering this product. I've noticed when I powder it, if I apply a little too much powder, it will look a little dry. I love it, but just be careful with how much powder you apply. And I actually picked a certain powder to pair with this for that reason. I'm just gonna do a little bit in the inner corner, a little bit, and then a little bit in the outer corner. Now for concealer, when you are thinking of a long wear concealer, I think it's more important in the application more so than the formula. So you wanna make sure that you don't over apply concealer, because that's when you run into issues of it settling in fine lines and creasing. I don't care what formula it is. If you over apply concealer, you will deal with that issue, you guys. It's just how it works. You know, when we smile and we laugh, we get all of these lines, and if you have makeup on top of it, it's gonna move the makeup and it's gonna settle. So you wanna make sure that you don't over apply. Now I'm using the N14 brush. I love this brush. brush. It's actually not a concealer brush. It's actually for powder, but I love it for concealer. I just kind of bounce it right in here. I'm gonna get full coverage. I'm gonna actually take it and kind of run it on a dry, soft towel here to remove any excess. I'm gonna go and do the other side. So when it comes to concealer, it's really, again, in your application process more so than your formula. Now, there are concealers that can be really heavy or really creamy and emollient, and those don't really lend themselves to being like a Longwear product. If it stays too creamy, it's not gonna have longevity. So you gotta make sure that whatever concealer you're choosing sets. Do you need this particular one? No, I mean, I think this is long wearing, but I think I have a dozen, 20 other concealers that are also long wearing. I just decided to go with this one because I can get great coverage from it without having to use a lot. And that is ultimately what's gonna help with the longevity of the product, is not having to use a lot. Okay, you guys. So now we have that all blended in. I just kind of like to go over and just make sure I over blend to make sure that I don't have any excess hiding in little fine lines there. Oh, the skin is looking so good. So easy and so quick. Okay, let's go ahead and set this area. I decided to pick up the Pat McGrath setting powder for under the eyes for this video, particularly because I am using this concealer. You can use any loose powder. You don't necessarily need this one, but this was actually designed to set under the eyes. So it has a little bit more of a natural finish to it. It's not real matte, and that just really is complementary underneath the eye because the skin is very thin. It's where we show the most texture and fine lines, and if you use a powder that's too heavy, it can accentuate that. So I really do like this powder. This is one of those formulas that kind of got put away in a drawer and forgotten about, but I pulled it out today. It's gonna sit here and I'm gonna use this because it's actually very beautiful, and you can use it on the face too. But it's not the powder that I'm gonna use all over the face, because when I think of a long wearing setting powder, one just automatically pops into my mind, and that's the One Size loose powder. We're gonna get to this in a minute. I'm gonna go and do bronzer next, but this is my go-to powder for like locking in my makeup and making it last all day long and controlling shine. Controlling shine is one of the factors to consider when you're trying to keep your makeup on all day, because if you produce a lot of oil, then that's going to break down your makeup and it's not going to wear all day. So controlling shine is definitely one of the factors you need to address. Okay, let's go in with bronzer. For bronzer, I'm going to do a cream and a powder combo, and that's really for longevity. I'm going to go in with the Makeup by Mario cream bronzer. This is the shade Light Medium. And I am gonna go in with the BK Beauty 112 brush, and I'm just gonna kind of load the brush up, get even distribution all over the brush. And then we're just gonna go and bounce this onto the skin. I rarely use cream and a powder bronzer, but if I want my makeup to last all day, I'm definitely gonna do that combo, because having those products layered is going to just keep the bronzer like visible and just looking fresh all day long. Ooh, this color is so good. This is another product that I kind of put away in a drawer and forgot about, but I'm gonna keep this out because this is so nice. This brush is really great, by the way, for bronzer. You guys see me using it a lot for blush, but it is really beautiful with bronzer. It's nice because it doesn't pick up too much product, so you have a lot of control over it. So add this to your list if you're shopping our Black Friday sale today, you guys. The 112 is one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm just gonna bounce this on the skin, bounce it on the skin. I also like to kind of take it into the hairline. I went to a Scott Barnes masterclass this past weekend, and I think we are all familiar who Scott Barnes is, but if you're not, Scott Barnes is Jennifer Lopez's makeup artist. I have to tell you a funny story, actually. So he's Jennifer Lopez's makeup artist. You probably guys have seen him if you follow beauty accounts on Instagram or YouTube, which I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you do. He was also bronzing around the hairline. What did he call it? He had some cute name for it. Anyway, it just kind of reaffirmed my style because I'm always putting bronzer right around the hairline. He does something called underpainting, where he contours and bronzes and highlights, and then he goes in with foundation. And to be honest, when he started, I was thinking in my head, like, where is this going? Because he used this really dark orangey contour on this very fair model, and I was like, oh my gosh, where is this going? But I've actually seen him do this on, online, so I knew. And also it's Scott Barnes, so you just trust and you know that it's going to be amazing. But he worked his magic, and her complexion looked flawless. It was so beautiful. Okay, and I'm gonna also take a little bit of this and I'm gonna apply it on the side of the nose. I love how natural and sheer this is. It's so easy to work with, particularly with this brush. This is a great combo for this product. If I were to use a different brush, I'd get a different payoff. So keep that in mind, you guys. What's great about this brush is it's really great for applying cream or liquids in a nice natural way and giving you control, because it's not dense. It's actually kind of airy. So it's not gonna pick up too much product and apply too much product. Now, of course, you can always layer and build if you want more product. It's just gonna take you a little bit more time and a little bit more effort than if you were to go in with a brush that was this size but more dense. This is the 112, you guys. Okay, Perfect. Look at how good that looks. So, so nice. Love this product. I'm gonna actually take this one and I'm gonna take the Pat McGrath to my house and keep those at home because I like those. Okay, next we're gonna go in with the Hourglass bronzer. And I like this one for setting because it's very sheer. It has a little bit of a glow to it, but it's very controlled glow. So it gives a little bit of a radiance to the skin. I'm using the 107 brush and I'm just gonna softly tap it right on top of what we put on. I don't really wanna make this real strong. So I'm really just wanting to set this cream in place, but not make it a heavier bronze, you know? If you do go a little heavy, don't worry. When we set with powder, we can kind of fix or tone down anything that we went a little too heavy with. Okay, next we're gonna go with blush, and I'm gonna use a L'Oreal blush in today's video. I'm gonna use the new Lumi Liquid Blush. This is the shade Dewy Worth It 601. These are very pigmented, so be careful with how much you apply of this. I'm actually gonna take this to my hand first. Earlier, I was filming some content for L'Oreal, and I put this 3 dots on my cheek, and then I went to blend it out, and it was just too much. I had to really work to blend that out. So I like to go to my hand. I'm gonna go back in with the 112 brush, you guys. I'm gonna kind of run it on a dry, clean towel here just to remove any excess bronzer. And I'm gonna go and pick the product up and I'm gonna blot it on my hand just to get any excess off. Do you see how much comes off? Okay, and I'm gonna smile. Another thing Scott Barnes shared that makes me a fan of his for life, because he applied blush right here on the model. Granted, the model was, you know, in her mid-20s, but he applied blush right here. And someone raised their hand and asked, well, what do you think about the high blush placement that we're seeing, the high further back? And he said, it's nice, but he's like, I really like the blush here. It gives some separation, and this is just kind of how I apply blush. And I loved that because I love my blush there too. Applying it further back is gonna lift the face. So if you're trying to achieve that, or if you've just noticed that the way you're applying your makeup doesn't look the same as it did 10 years ago, then you might wanna look at placement. But I love that he said, no, you can totally apply your blush right here. And he actually went a little further into the apple. So I'm gonna apply a little bit there, and then I am gonna take a little here to lift it. But I'm just taking whatever's left over and applying it there. So it's very subtle, so that most of that color is right in here. But we do get a little cascading of it right there. Oh, it's so pretty. This is a great color. It's a just neutral, rosy, peachy pink. And I would definitely get this brush to pair it with. Because it is very pigmented, you want to avoid something that's really dense. It's going to leave more room for error. So good. Look at that. We are looking good, you guys. The skin is coming to life. Okay, next we're gonna go ahead and powder the center of the face to lock in the foundation. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 108. If you don't own this brush, you guys pick this up during our Black Friday sale. It wasn't one of the original 9 that we launched, but it came shortly after that. So it's been in the collection for a long time. It's been here before we had all the brushes that we have now. And I say that because back then, when I didn't have a 112 and I didn't have all these other brushes, I was using this for everything, okay? I'm gonna use it to set the center of the face. I'm gonna go in with the one size loose powder, and I have the translucent one here. This is a good one to pick up. It also comes in pink and peach and different shades. I'm gonna load the brush up, really get all that product in here, but then I'm also gonna kind of blot it in the back of my hand, just so I don't have any excess powder. I'm gonna start in the center of my forehead, since I've already powdered and set underneath the eyes. I'm gonna go down my nose. I'm gonna go right around my nose. I'm gonna go right around the blush here. This, if my face is gonna get oily at all throughout the day or break down makeup, it's gonna be here, and it's gonna be like right here. So I'm gonna make sure that I really lock in that. And then I'm also gonna go around my mouth and around the blush here a little bit. Now I'm looking at the eyes. I see a tiny bit of creasing, so I'm just gonna take my finger and pat underneath the eye. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and move on to eyes. And I have some fun products for today's eyes, you guys. We're gonna keep it very simple, but we are gonna keep it, in the sake of Longwear makeup, I'm gonna be using a product that I think lasts on the eyes longer than anything I've ever used. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it is right up there in, you know, best products for long wearing eyeshadow. And it's actually not an eyeshadow. It's the Danessa Myricks Color Fix. This product can be used anywhere. It says eye, lip, or cheek. It comes in a ton of colors. Obviously, you're probably not going to use certain colors on your lips or your cheeks, but you could certainly grab a pink one and use that on your lips and cheeks. But these are a very unique and innovative formula, and I love to use these on the eyes. So I have the shade Nude 4, and I'm going to use this one on my lid first. This is a matte nude shade. It is slightly deeper than my skin tone, but very close to my skin tone. And I'm gonna go in with my favorite brush for this product and any liquid or cream shadows, and that is the Nikki LaRose N16 BK Beauty brush. What I love about this brush is I love how it has a nice tapered tip here, so you can really fit right there in the inner corner. If you notice too, hopefully you can see, there's some density on this, but the fibers and the hairs actually actually extend a little bit up where they're real feathery. So that really helps you sheer out product. This is a great brush for concealer too. And you can use the side to pack on product or get full coverage. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna load the side up. I have too much there, that's too much product. So I'm gonna blot it on my hand, and I'm gonna start with a little sheer layer. I'm gonna start right there in the inner corner, and I'm going to use the tip of this brush to really get in the inner corner and kind of sheer and blend out the crease. And then I'm gonna use the side of the brush to pack it onto the lid. The key with this product is making sure that you have evenly covered all over the lid, but you wanna make sure that it's a nice sheer layer, you guys. And because it's a nice light color, I'm gonna take it a little further up here because I can. Look at that, do you see what that did? Like here, it doesn't look like I have makeup on, but when you compare the two lids, you can see, oh, there's a slight change there. Just evens out the lid, adds a little bit of color. This is waterproof. It is totally budge proof, you guys. This will last all day. You can pair an eyeshadow on top of this if you want. You certainly can, or you can just wear it as the shadow. You can use it as an eye primer. Usually when I'm wearing these either alone, or I'm pairing a little bit of a bronzer in the crease or maybe a deeper matte shadow in the crease, but I'm not really covering all of this up with eyeshadow. I like to wear these by themselves. Oh, that's so pretty. It's so nice. Okay, you guys, next we're gonna go in and we're gonna take another shade. We're gonna take the Color Fix Metallics, and this is the shade Gold Mine, you guys. And look at this. This is a gorgeous metallic gold. I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this, you guys, in the center of the lid. We're gonna keep this nice and light. And this is actually kind of experimental. I don't think I've played with this yet, but I have full faith in it. And I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 209 brush. This is a little mini shader, and the reason I'm picking this one up is because of its size. It's small, so it can really help me control this and keep this like right in the center of the eye. Look at this. I mean, this just looks like liquid metal. Do you see that? That's so pretty. Oh my gosh, okay. And we're gonna just kind of come right here, and we're going to, ooh, oh my goodness, look at how beautiful that is. I'm actually gonna kind of sheer it out because I just want it in the center of the lid. I don't want it to be too opaque because then it'll just look like I have a blob of shimmer there that doesn't make sense. But if I sheer it out, it'll look like a little subtle highlight. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. And then I'm just gonna kind of pat it. I'm just gonna kind of pat it to where it blends out. Look at how pretty that is. So you can see how rich and opaque you can get this. I mean, that is gorgeous. I might wear this for Dancing with the Stars next month. My Dancing with the Stars competition, you guys, is on December 7th, so we are less than a month out. If you follow me on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. I am volunteering and dancing for Dancing with the Stars Austin, not to be confused with the show. This will not be televised on ABC. It's basically an annual event, a fundraiser. This is like I want to say this is the 18th year, 12th or 18th year. I don't know why, but it's either 12 or 18. And it is to benefit the Center for Child Protection, which has been around for over 30 years in Austin, and it raises money for kids that have been abused and their families, and it provides amazing resources that I won't get into in this video because I will be in tears by the end of it. But I was asked to dance. They pick like 11 or 12 local Austinites. They're local celebrities, they call them, but I'm not a celebrity. But anyway, they pick a local Austinite, they pair them with a professional dancer, and then we practice our routine. I've been practicing since early September. And I mean, I've been practicing like 3 times a week, you guys. It has been a lot. And then we perform in front of like over 1,200 people. And this event is huge. It raises a lot of money. It's one of their biggest fundraisers. And I'm really excited about it. But all that to say is this shade would be perfect for Dancing with the Stars. Okay, next I'm gonna pop in here this little Dior palette. Your bronzer would work great here though. You don't need this palette. And I'm gonna pop in this little beautiful matte neutral shade. I'm gonna pop that in the crease just to give a little definition. I'm using a lot of Nikki's brushes today. I'm gonna go in with the N13. What I like about this is it gives me a lot of control right there in the crease. So I'm gonna just grab it on the tip and I'm going to just create a little structure there. Another thing Scott Barnes shared is he actually starts his crease right here, which is so different. You know, I always start in the outer corner. He always starts right there. And it was pretty amazing. He did this incredibly like glam look and he only used 2 eyeshadows. He actually did not use a transition shade. He went straight in with a dark, like rich plum, and he put it right here. That was pretty impressive. He is just so talented. There's something about, like as I was watching him do all of this, I thought to myself, like if I were to try to do this, it just wouldn't look the same as what he's doing, even if I followed all his tips and tricks. I think some people just have this innate talent that they're born with, this gift, and he definitely has it. And by the way, he was incredibly sweet, incredibly kind, and incredibly humble. I don't know why I'm saying that as if I was surprised. I didn't really know what to expect, but you know, when you meet someone that you just kind of admire so much, it's always just it's a nice feeling when they just seem like relatable and like they can have a conversation with you and look you in the eye and be present. And I felt that way with him. So I'm more of a Scott Barnes fan than I was before I went to that event even. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. For eyeliner, the eyeliner that I chose without a doubt is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. This is named 24/7 for a reason because it is very long wearing, it's long lasting, it's waterproof. I'm going in with the shade Smog, and I'm just gonna kind of run this right here on the outer corner of the eye. I really don't want to take this too far over. I am going to make it kind of thick on the outer corner because I do want to just have a little more of a thicker liner. I'm going to take the N12 brush. If you don't have this one, pick this up during the sale, you guys. You will love it. You'll actually want to probably get a couple of these. It's so good. I use this almost every day. And I'm just going to smudge that eyeliner before the eyeliner sets. You need to make sure you do it before it dries down. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. What's also nice about this little hack of smudging it with a brush is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Your eyeliner doesn't have to be perfect. You can kind of just slap it on there and then run it over with this brush. Perfect. Okay, lovely. So good. All right, and then I'm gonna take the same liner and we're gonna do the same thing on the lower lash line. But I'm gonna keep it thinner. I'm not gonna go as thick, but I am gonna stay just on the outer half, just like I did on top. I'm gonna do the outer corner and we're gonna come right in here. We're gonna stop right under the center of the eye. We're gonna take that brush and we're just gonna kind of soften it and smoke it out. Now, one thing I'm gonna do on the lower is I'm gonna set it with a little bit of eyeshadow to lock it in and keep it on all day. Also keep it from kind of smudging throughout the day. Since we have concealer down there, I don't want it to mix with my concealer. I want it to just stay in place. So do a little shadow. I'm using the shadow that I used in the crease. So I'm using this little brown shadow here. Again, if you use your bronzer will work great for that too. For mascara, we're gonna go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And we're gonna just apply a few generous coats of this. You guys know my mascara trick, wiggle, wiggle back and forth to get a lot of the product onto the lashes first and then pull up. Okay, we are there. I'm gonna do a little bit on the lower lashes. With this mascara, I really like to build. So I'll go to one eye and kind of build it up pretty good. Then I'll bounce over to the other eye and build that one up. And then I might come back. I find this formula works really nice if you can give it a little bit of time to kind of dry down. You don't want it to obviously be completely dry, but give a few seconds bouncing between and come back. And I think it builds really nicely. Okay, for lips, you guys, I have a drugstore find for you. This is one of my favorite Longwear lip products from the drugstore. I'm gonna first by lining my lips, and that's actually from Charlotte Tilbury just because I had it here. It's the shade Iconic Nude, but any nude pencil that you have. I'm gonna line the lips, but then I'm also gonna slightly fill them in a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so I got my lips lined and I'm just filling them in a little bit. Because I'm using a Longwear lipstick, I don't need to fill the entire lip in, but if you prefer something more like a gloss or a sheer balm as your lip color, use your lip liner and fill your lip entirely in and then apply that product, because a lip balm, lip glosses, they're not long-wearing products. You know, you have a few drinks of a water, whatever, you're gonna have to reapply. So line them and then fill them entirely in. That way when your balm and your gloss wears off, as it definitely will, you'll be left with some color to the lips. I'm actually gonna go in with the Revlon Color Stay Satin Ink Lipstick, and this is the shade 07 Partner in Crime. I really like this formula. It's long wearing and it's pretty comfortable on the lips. I don't find it to be as drying as other formulas like this. I just do one little swipe and then kind of blot the lips together. I will say if you over apply these products, like you layer them, they tend to feel drier on the lips and they tend to kind of crack. So don't apply too much. Just apply one layer, kind of blot it, and then take it back if you need to. Try not to over apply. I'm gonna leave it right there because I think that's all I need. I'm also gonna blot it together and kind of tap it with my finger just to get any excess off. So this is the finished look, a very clean, simple, go-to everyday look. You could certainly bump this up by adding deeper shades, another color in the center of the lid if you want a pop of color. But this is a really good foundational go-to everyday look, and this makeup is gonna stay and last all day because of the products that we used and the tricks that we implemented. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'm gonna list and I will also link all the products and tag them in YouTube Shopping if you prefer to shop that way. It's kind of been my favorite way to shop YouTube videos lately. And I'm gonna have all the information for our BK Beauty sale, which you can shop now for 30% off site-wide. Again, this is the biggest Black Friday we've ever done. So huge, huge savings. And also I'm gonna tag all the BK Beauty brushes in YouTube Shopping. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.